Leopold Okulicki was born on November 12, 1898, in Bratuchice, in then-Congress Poland, which was then part of the Russian Empire. He was born into a family of farmers, to parents named Błażej and Anna née Korsyl. In 1910, he enrolled at a local gymnasium, secondary school, and after 1913 was a member of the Związek Strzelecki, Riflemen's Association. The following year, aged 16, after finishing basic military training, he passed his NCO exams. After the outbreak of World War I, in October 1915, he left school and volunteered for the Polish Legions, where he served with distinction in the 3rd Legion's Infantry Regiment. He remained in the Polish Army and fought in various units during World War I, and the following Polish-Soviet War which lasted 1919 to 1921, Okulicki was decorated with the highest Polish military order, the Virtuti Militari. During the interwar period, he remained in the army, and in 1925 graduated from the prestigious Warsaw Military Academy. Afterward, Okulicki took a post in the Grodno local corps headquarters. Until the late 1930s, he taught at the Infantry Training Center in Rembetów and became commanding officer of Polish 13th Infantry Division. In 1939, Okulicki was made commander of one of the departments of the Polish Commander-in-Chief's headquarters. At the outbreak of World War II and the defense of Poland against Nazi Germany in 1939, Okulicki was in Warsaw. After Edward Ritz-Śmigły evacuated his staff from Warsaw, Okulicki remained in the Polish capital and served in various posts during the siege of Warsaw. After the capitulation of the Polish troops defending the capital, Okulicki evaded capture by the Germans and joined Służba Zwycięstwa Polski, or Service for Poland's Victory, one of the first underground resistance organizations formed in Nazi and Soviet-occupied Poland. This organization later changed its name to the Union of Armed Struggle, and then to the Home Army. In January 1940, he moved to Łódź, where he assumed the post of commander of the local area of that organization. After a brief stint at headquarters, he was transferred to Soviet-occupied Lwów and became head of that area. General Stefan Rowecki, the commander-in-chief of the ZBZ, appointed him as the commander of the Soviet occupation in Area No. 2, Białystok, and Area No. 3, Lwów, with the difficult and dangerous task of eliminating the organizational breakdown in the Lwów area and putting the affairs of the ZWZ in order throughout the entire occupation. Arrested by the NKVD in January 1941, Okulicki was imprisoned and tortured in various Soviet prisons. Released after the Sikorsky-Maysky Agreement of 1941, he joined the Polish army recreated in the USSR, where he assumed the post of Chief of Staff. After a brief period commanding the Polish 7th Infantry Division, he was moved to London for training in the Cieszykiemny training camp and transported to occupied Poland. In July 1944, during Operation Tempest, he became the commander of the 2nd Echelon of the Home Army. General Bor Komorowski, anticipating his own arrest by the Soviets after the Warsaw Uprising, named him his deputy and successor. Okulicki fought in the uprising, among other posts, as Chief of Staff of the Home Army. After the capitulation of the uprising, he managed to evade capture by the Germans and moved to Krakow, from where he started to reorganize the Home Army. On the 3rd of October 1944, he became commander of the entire Home Army. On January 3rd, 1945, he met in the Zasije estate near Odrovange, Radomsko County, near Radomsko, with the British Special SOE mission Freston. In order to protect Polish soldiers against the NKVD and more general Stalinist repression, Okulicki, in consultation with the government delegate, and on the basis of the government instruction from London of November 14th, 1944, providing for the dissolution of the Home Army in the areas occupied by the USSR, issued an order on January 19th, 1945, dissolving the Home Army and releasing soldiers from their oath. He feared that the existence of Allied forces in Poland would only lead to the Soviets murdering or arresting more people. In February 1945, Okulicki and his commanders were summoned by the NKVD to a meeting in Warsaw. They were arrested and then flown to Moscow. Okulicki was charged with preparing an armed uprising against the Soviet Union in league with the Germans. He was sentenced to 10 years' imprisonment in the staged Trial of the 16. Under international law, this was a completely illegal verdict. He defended Poland in the courtroom against Soviet accusations. He died on December 24, 1946. At Butyrka prison, he was 48 years old. A cenotaph commemorating his death was built in the Powązki Military Cemetery, Warsaw.